Hello, Paul Salomon here. I am the head of development for Elf Creek Games, and I am also the designer of Honey Buzz, and including our first major expansion for the game, Honey Buzz Fall Flavors. So I'm just going to take a little time here and do an unboxing, show you what's in here. These are fresh off the presses in China and just got them. So let's see if my little shoddy setup here can work. So this is our standard edition. It's the same size as the base game, but a little bit thicker. I'm sorry, a little bit thinner. You see we've got the thumb holes on the side. And this one has already been opened at Gamma. So you won't see the punch board and everything, but here we have our squishy fruits. The Honey Buzz expansion this Fall Flavors expansion has 5 mini modules in it, or maybe not so many. And one of them is the fall fruit module. And these pieces are squishy, like the honey from Honey Buzz. We also have a bunch of punch boards here. Let's come back to those. And let's look at some of these other boards. We have here, hey, Katie. We have here the sunset board, two-sided. You can go either way. And this tracks progress to the end of the game. You will place a sun token here. And as certain events happen through the game, it'll advance towards the end of the game. And when sun sets on Sweetwater Grove, winter has come and the game will end. This provides a much better way to trigger the end of the game and integrates with all the other modules of Fall Flavors. We also have our beautiful new Harvest Festival board, which you can see the bees there. This is one of the 5 modules. You get to retire your workers permanently from your workforce, but they get to do a little extra work here or propose a toast. And I'll show you some of those cards in a minute. Let's see. We have our beautiful rule book. Again, it has that linen finish you've come to expect from Honey Buzz things. It's drop dead gorgeous. Jason Kingsley and Hideseek did an amazing job on this. Goes through all the modules. Inside of the box, of course, has our hive texture, I guess you would say. And then this expansion comes with a bunch, I think 36 maybe, new leafy hive tiles. And you'll see that they have yellow, this is backwards in my view, so it's confusing, red and purple leaves. And you'll try to collect these in your hive to score some points. And one of our biggest changes here is the new Fall Woodland board. See if I can get that in there. And you can play with this or you can play with the spring. But I think this kind of, for me, becomes a new essential module here. It adds a couple things. You've got down here your fruit orders. Let's crack open some of these cards and show you what's going on. A new type of order card, which is the fruit order. And these have, of course, all new art on them. They're beautiful. Thank you, Anne Hideseek. And these get placed here, and they'll require one combination of fruit and honey. And when you complete one of those, you get a decree bonus. So that's very strong. And then on this side of the board, you'll see a new field of nectars in the hexagon patterns with fruit in the middle. And that's how you'll gather these guys. And then, of course, we have all fall-themed honey varieties. Aster, strawberry tree, sunflower, and buckwheat. As well as you can sell fruit at their constant prices down here, and their you get a set bonus. So that is an exciting new module. There is, of course, a backside for those that like to play advanced mode. Looks like my wife's going to come home. The dog's going to go insane here in a minute, but we shall make it through. You will score more points in the expansion, so it comes with some 50-point Pinecone tokens, and a new player aid, which includes the new honey types and descriptions of some of the expanded actions. Some of those change a little bit. One of the new actions is you can use an accounting action to cap a nectar in your hive. That means taking one of these pieces and covering it. It'll never produce any honey again, but it's worth a big pile of points, and as many as maybe 10. Whoever completes the most of these capped nectars will get some bonus rewards at the end of the game. Let's take a look at some of those toast cards. They reward you for some sort of in-game bonus. 3 points per counting tile in your hive. There he goes. Yeah, Bernie, keep us safe. 2 points per worker on your player board, and when you retire a worker, you claim these. They kind of get better and better through the game, but way too long and they'll be gone. Let's see what else we have. Anything else? Oh, where are those foliage cards? Must be in another bag. Here we go. All right. I showed you those leaves, and the foliage cards will tell you how they score. For example, for every pair of yellows you'll have in your hive, you get 4 points. For every pair of reds, 3 points, something like that. Different conditions will sort of change the way gameplay scores each time. Those are fun. We have new cards for solo play, which will interact with the different modules, as well as new objectives. Oh boy, can't get my hand to work. New objectives to interact with solo play. So you're seeing just about everything here in the retail edition. There's the back of the box for those that like to take a look at that. And then there is this big old reference card, reference sheet, I should say, which has descriptions for every toast card, as well as those in the Cornucopia model expansion, which I'll show you later, and then descriptions for every foliage card. So that will be very useful. All right, that is the retail edition. I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to dig into our deluxe. The deluxe, of course, has not even been punched. It is in the shrink. Sorry if I'm causing you pain by just shuffling that stuff into there. Let's take a look at our deluxe edition. This one is much thicker, and you will see it has some nice features. Let me use this crude knife here. This should work. Okay. Take off our shrink. One thing we do with these is right about there. Okay. We put the punch board on the back of the box. That's in its own shrink as well, so that it will fit inside the insert here once it's punched. You'll note that the deluxe has some foil leaves on it, which are quite cool. All right. And it has the same look essentially at the outset, but then this slip cover comes off to reveal the rest of the fall scene here, which I really like that. Okay, let's crank this thing open. These are also numbered editions down here. Looks like a 7,000 print run. Same rule book. Okay. Here's what the punch board actually looks like. Yeah, much the same so far. Here's what the punch board looks like for some of these other components. These are glossy and a bit thicker. This is also the standard sun token that descends. It sort of starts yellow, and as it gets close to the end, you flip to red. Comes with the standard leafy hive tiles as well. You're welcome to keep them. We like to give you both. We have our board. And then inside here, we have a plastic tray with some organization here. And a lot of different looking beautiful pieces. Here's our fruit, just the same, but our nectar cap tokens are replaced with, let's crack these out. The nectar cap tokens are replaced with wooden tokens. They're very chunky. I believe they're heat transferred. And inside the insert here, I'm not sure you'll be able to see it, but there's a little imprint there that tells you, that's where trophies go. That's cool. We also have our fruit tokens replaced with, come on. The fruit tokens are replaced with acrylic, sort of clinky fruit tokens. And then our sun token here is acrylic as well. Two-sided, very, very pretty. Okay. I think my favorite piece in our deluxe editions is the nectar tiles, big, thick acrylic nectar tiles, and they have their different backs for advanced play, sunflower, strawberry tree, etc., with a purple side so you can differentiate them from the spring ones. There are 4 bags of those, so 24. Those will end up here in the insert, I believe. Card spaces, and I believe this incorporates with the Cornucopia. There's space for all of that. Those are your deluxe components with the insert. Okay, let's set this aside and move on to some of our little add-ons, shall we? Yes. Okay. Back over here, let's take a look at ball player pieces or Cornucopia. Let's go with the Cornucopia. We'll cover gameplay first before we get into just, just pretties. Just like all our other mini expansions, these come in these hex boxes. And the Honeypot Mini Expansion was our first one from the first Kickstarter campaign. And that's essentially the Kickstarter goodies. So if you were a backer of the original campaign, you will get this for part of your pledge. But it'll be available as an add-on through the Elf Creek Games web store for the rest of the world. Let's see what's inside here. So you get a number of exciting options. First one is, as I said, all of the modules can be played with solo game. The Honeypot comes with dice that let you play solo with dice. And this die lets you do that with all the new modules as well. The toast cards and nectar caps, that's there. We also have a ton of additional cards for play. That's one of my favorite things about these mini expansions is that you get additional, let's see what we get. So additional foliage cards. These one relate to adjacencies. So things like leaves, yellows adjacent to newbie tiles and stuff like that. Can I do one more? I don't know what this one says. I can't quite read it. There you go. So some new ones there. We also have some new orders. These are, what do you call them? Fruit orders. And they require any honey and any fruit in some combination. These, I believe, are animals known to not be picky eaters. So you have the pigs there. We have a goat here and a dog. They tend to eat pretty much whatever. We also have, and this is really lovely, we also have a new set of order cards. Come on. So this is purely fall-themed order cards that are just a reskin, new art to include. Hey, Pete. Good to see you, pal. And Ann Hide-Seek sure does good art. What else we got in here? More toast cards. These ones will relate to actions you take on your turn. So they're sort of a new direction for those. And finally, we have some solo cards that include fruits, unsold fruit or fruit orders, stuff not in the base game. One of our upgrades that some people have is our wooden coins. So since we made a new coin type, we added some wooden coins into our cornucopia for the 50s. I love those, and I fought hard for them to be wooden. Little rule sheet. Oh, this also seems to have the linen on one side, which is very pleasant. Goes over all the new modules and such, including all of the rules for the Cornucopia bonus tokens, which is what I will show you next. So you get 2 punch boards of little tokens. And if you play with this mini module, then on that festival board, let's see if I can grab one. On the festival board here, on these little worker spaces, you'll place randomly some of these tokens for your game. And so when you place there, I can't really get the light to work. when you place there, you'll get this token, which sort of counts as an extra nectar cap, or just gives you some straight points, or lets you take a new action, or lets you take a fruit from the pile, or gives you, like these ones are pretty cool. You actually put them on your hive tiles and it adds leaves, I guess is how you say that. So that is the mini module here. You may remember that our honeypot mini expansion came with a module of nectar jars. So we wanted to have something like that here. All right, one last thing to unbox here. We've got the fall player pieces. And of course, Honeybuzz is originally set in the springtime as Her Majesty, the Queen, sets up the first honey stand. But now it's fall. And the original pieces were pretty pastel for that reason. But if you like playing purple or orange, you might want this. Or if you just want it to kind of match the color scheme of the new fall woodland board, this is for you. Again, this was an add-on to the Kickstarter campaign, but it will be available on the Elf Geek Games web store. And it is pretty much exactly what you think it is. You have player pieces in all of the colors. So we have teal background, and then of course they have teal details on the tiles themselves. We have purple tiles with purple details. Okay. We have, what would you call this? Fuchsia? I don't know. Plum, something scarlet, gorgeous. And finally, orange, which doesn't quite look orange maybe for you, but those are lovely. Of course, each one comes with fan tokens and foraging pieces. You get a full set, but that's not all, of course. We also have new hives, new player boards for each color, a purple hive, sort of scarlet looking hive, our teal hive, love that one, and orange. I will be playing purple or yellow, so if we play together, don't touch those, they're for me. And finally, we have our 10 beeples in orange, scarlet, teal, and purple. And we also give you 2 new drone tokens for solo play that are marigold colored. So if you want to use those instead of the brown from the base game, that's an option for you. Finally, we do have the wooden fan tokens for owners of the deluxe components. And perhaps most importantly, you tell me, we have the fuzzy beeples. So can I just, there, and purple and teal and orange. And these are very clean. We had some issues with these in our original print runs, but we found ways to make those fuzzy beeples much higher quality. So that is what comes in your fall player pieces. We looked at the Cornucopia, Standard, and Deluxe. And that's it. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. Be happy to reply. I hope to get you your game soon. Adios.